Alright, hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So earlier this week I did post my official announcement of my YouTube channel on my Instagram. So if I know you, hello, welcome. But today I did want to just kind of do a sit down chat video talking about how I got to where I am today in terms of fitness. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about what I do, what my routine is, and just kind of like what I focus on to get to where I am right now. I do feel like I'm at the best place I've ever been in terms of fitness and my health. So I just kind of wanted to give you tips and tricks that I currently do. And of course, this took trial and error for me to be able to learn what works for me. Always remember, what works for me might not work for you, might not work for the next person. Every single person is different. But this is just what I have found has worked for me and has helped me get to where I currently am. So I just hope that this helps somebody. If you're currently on your fitness journey or are trying to make some changes in your fitness routine, things like that. And then I'm also going to cover like what my current goals are. Goals have obviously changed for me over the years in terms of fitness. So I'm just going to kind of go over what my current goals are and what I did to get there to where I am today. So I guess kind of starting out, I'm going to give like a little backstory into how I wanted to get to where I am right now. So starting out when I first got into fitness, I was very, very focused on just leaning out, like being skinny but being toned. I did not want to put on any muscle at all. I thought I would look bulky, things like that. I did do ballet for most of my life. So with that in mind, I always had that like ballerina body in the back of my head, and that was something that I always wanted to look like. Even when I was done dancing, that was just what I wanted aesthetically. But I am naturally a very muscular person. I'm naturally built more muscular and athletic, so that was always something that was very hard for me, and I was constantly fighting with myself to be able to look like that and to maintain that sort of body type. And it's something in the long run that just like was not sustainable for me. Again, like I said, I was constantly fighting with myself. So then when I started going to Orangetheory, which I've been with Orangetheory now consistently for over a year, I have seen hands down the biggest changes in my fitness, health, physique, everything. I've just seen the biggest changes. So kind of going into when I started with Orangetheory about a year ago, I still was wanting to maintain that super lean, almost like ballet body. I was a little bit more open to like lifting heavier weights and just kind of seeing what my body could do. It was very much when I first started like a little challenge for myself. I was like, I'm gonna see what I can do. And I wanted to see how low I could get body fat. I wanted to gain muscle. It was very much like that balance of losing body fat, gaining muscle. And I gave myself that challenge to just see what my body could do. So in doing that, I really, really focused on just taking classes consistently. I was taking Orangetheory classes almost every single day. I would say I was doing at least like 5 to 6 days a week. I would give myself those rest days, and there were definitely some weeks that I was doing 7 days a week. But I was very focused on just doing the normal like Orangetheory classes. I was doing specifically, they're called Orange 60. So it's just our classic 60-minute class. You do treadmill, rower, weight floor. So you're just getting a really good full body workout. I was doing that every single day. In doing that, I found that I was able to get the body goals that I wanted. Like it was so like eye-opening, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm at my healthiest right now. Like I'd lost so much body fat and I gained muscle. And then I did that for a while, and then I did eventually kind of get to a point where I was plateauing a little bit, and I guess kind of getting burnt out. Burnout is totally normal. It happens. Of course, you want to do everything you can to prevent burnout, but it is going to happen every so often. So at this point in time, I had realized my body type, I was still just very skinny. I didn't have a lot of shape to me. I just wasn't feeling my absolute best in just my physique, my appearance. Health-wise, I was feeling great. But I did just want to make that physique change, which I think is totally okay and totally normal for somebody to want to make a physique change. it's an aspect of fitness, and I feel like it's kind of a taboo subject, but I feel like a lot of people do get into fitness specifically for that physique change, for a physical appearance. It, of course, has other great health benefits to it, but a lot of it can be that physical change. And so for me personally, this past summer, what I wanted to do was really just focus on building muscle and showing off like my natural shape and figure. I had been doing so much consistent just cardio, and I kind of plateaued with my weights, and I needed something else. I needed something to shock my body, something to change. So I did start just weightlifting a lot. I did that for most of the summer. I was doing a lot of just weights and things like that, and then my boyfriend and I ended up going to Europe. When we came back, that was when I was like, okay, I'm ready for another change. I'm ready. I've had, my little break from it, but I was still doing it. But I'm like, now it's, winter arc season. Like, we're going to kickstart this strong. Like, we're going to see what we can do again. And now, currently, my fitness goal is to kind of do like a hybrid training style so that I can still keep building muscle, showing off my natural shape, figure, but also being able to run and to sprint. It's like things like that, to be very much like that hybrid athlete sort of person. So right now, I would say I'm currently doing specific like Orangetheory, just the normal Orange 60 classes about 3 times a week. So that's getting in my cardio, I'm doing rowing, and then some weights on the weight floor. I usually go a little bit, I want to say lighter on the weight floor, but it's definitely not where I don't go super crazy with the weights. And then I will do specific like weightlifting classes, just kind of depending how I'm feeling. So every week kind of depends. I do just try to get in a very good variety of doing Orange 60 classes paired with like lift classes as well. And with that, I've noticed the biggest change in my body ever. I'm very much at that state that it's like, okay, I'm able to go in and run, but then I'm also lifting those heavy weights as well. And my body just changed so much in doing that. Hell Week this past year was a very, very good time for me to just kind of test it out and see what I could do. I want to say I took 6 out of the 8 Hell Week classes, and I just saw the biggest change with that alone, and then incorporating weightlifting along with it. It's just shocked my body like no other. And I do feel like it gives a good balance as well, because there is that fine line between doing, I guess, too much cardio, not enough weightlifting, because you're going to lose that muscle. So there is very much that balance. But that's just currently what I'm doing right now, is I'm doing Orangetheory incorporated with weightlifting as well. So now that I kind of gave my gist of what I do, I want to go into a few tips and tricks that have helped me be able to maintain this, achieve this, and make me want to continue to keep growing and improving my overall fitness, health, physique, all that fun stuff. So tip number 1 is going to be figuring out your workout split, workout routine. So like I said, for me, I do Orangetheory about 3 times a week, and then on the other days, I'll usually incorporate lifting, the lift classes. And then I do try to give myself at least 1 rest day a week. Like I said, every single week is different. So what I do is I just kind of look at my week ahead, what I have planned, and then I just kind of go based off of that. So I do think it's very, very important. Like, you don't have to have the exact same schedule every single week, but I do think it's important at the beginning of the week to take a look at what you have going on and plan out, okay, from this time to this time, this is when I'm getting my workout in. And just kind of fit that time in, or say, okay, this is going to be my rest day. If I'm focusing on cardio 3 days a week, maybe I should give myself 2 days of weightlifting, or, whatever it may be. Just kind of take a look at your schedule and plan out what works for you at that time. And it's okay if it's not the same week to week. It's okay to change it up. My schedule is definitely not the same every single week. I definitely don't always take 3 classes every single week. It just really depends. I just try to get it in when I can, and I just do it when it works for me. Tip number 2 is going to be balance. So by balance, I mean you don't want to do the same thing back to back to back every single day. So you might want to do, say, running super hard one day, then the next day maybe have like a walking day, or just a little bit more of a chill, relaxed day, or lift that day. You don't ever just want to keep doing the same thing over and over again back to back, because one, that is when you're going to build burnout, and then number 2, you're not going to shock your body. Working out is all about shocking your body. You want to change it up. You want to do different things, which Orangetheory classes are designed to be different every single day, which is great. It's one thing that I love about them. So if you are having 2 days back to back, totally fine. You just want to make sure that not every single day is the exact same thing. That is why you can incorporate some lifting. You can incorporate a little bit longer runs. You just want to add in that variety. When you are trying to build muscle, you're wanting to give yourself that rest and recovery of that muscle group to be able to let it to repair and grow. So you don't want to keep tearing it apart day after day. You need to let it have that break so that you are able to see change and growth. So that is why, for me, what I currently do is I'll have like back-to-back days that I'll do the same thing, but then like the next day might be a rest day. So I am going to let myself get that recovery. So it's just every single day you're not wanting to do the exact same thing. You want to give yourself that rest, that break, relax that muscle group to let it grow and repair. So tip number 3, kind of going along with tip number 2, is going to be recovery. Recovery is so important, and I think it's something that is talked about, but it's not talked about enough. There is a fine line between having like too much recovery days and then working out and things like that. So what I like to do is I always say there are no rest days, but there are active rest days. So for me, that means even on a day that if I'm not working out at all that day, I'm still going to go outside and go on a walk. I'm going to make sure that I'm moving around. You know, if the weather's crappy or whatever, maybe I'll just go walk on the treadmill. I'll do like a 50-minute walk on the treadmill. I will do something to move my body to stay moving, because we're meant to move. We're not meant to sit. We're not meant to be sedentary. Our bodies are made and built to move. So that's something I do really try to incorporate even on my active recovery days. I try to keep myself moving. So I do give myself like that rest and recovery in between, and I still have like my active recovery days where I'm still moving my body, but I'm definitely not working out. All right, tip number 4 is actually going to be going into nutrition. I've always had a very healthy nutrition, like healthy eating habits, things like that. But there are some things that I did kind of change to be able to start to see growth in the goals that I currently have, and just things that really helped me stay on track with my nutrition and eating. So one thing that I really do like to do is after I work out, I do try to get in a good source of protein. Afterwards, protein is what helps build muscles, and obviously when you're working out, you're tearing apart your muscles, so you need to have protein after you work out to start rebuilding and repairing those muscles. So what I've started doing is I did start kind of getting into protein shakes a little bit. I'm not a big fan of like the scoop ones, so there's only some from like stores that are like pre-made that I do like to drink every once in a while. So I will do that, but if I don't have that on hand, I'll try to get some sort of meal that has a good source of protein in it. Like I might do like some sort of sandwich where I can add in some meat and some cheese, which is going to give you that fat and protein that you need after you work out. But that's something that I really did start incorporating. And at first I was like, oh, like it can't make that big of a difference, but it does. Honestly, that's probably like one of my biggest hacks is get in your protein after you work out. It's going to make your muscles grow and grow strong. You're not putting on fat, like you are putting on some solid muscle. So I highly recommend getting in your protein after you work out. Also kind of going along with nutrition, one thing that I've also started doing a lot more is meal prepping, but not in the way of like, you know, like ground beef, rice, broccoli, like chicken, rice, broccoli, like not stuff like that, because I don't really like that, to be honest. So what I've started doing is I have started utilizing a lot of like frozen veggies or things that are kind of like pre-made in a way, so that it's easier for me to like make it. Like for example, I like to get protein pizza crust, like just the plain pizza crust. So I'll do that, so that's like pre-made, so then I'll just like add on my pizza toppings, put it in the oven, it bakes while I shower, and it's like we're multitasking, right? So just stuff like that, so it's like pre-made, but not entirely pre-made, and it's really easy to throw together. Trader Joe's, we have a Trader Joe's by me, so I'll go there and I'll buy like some sort of soup or some sort of pasta sauce, so that it's really easy to throw together. Like I just buy stuff that's very easy to throw together, doesn't require basically any prep time, and if I do get something that does require prep time, I might make it like the day before if I have time, so that it's already ready to go for the next like 2 days. And then my last thing kind of going on with nutrition. Fuck, I literally just forgot. Oh, and then my last thing just kind of going with nutrition would be to focus on whole foods, to focus on whole quality ingredients. I don't really eat a lot of like packaged like protein bars and things like that. I do try to base a lot of my meals around whole foods and good quality ingredients. I would much rather have like a mini meal than have like a snack, like a bar. And I've noticed a very, very big difference with that. One, I'm more satiated. And two, like I'm not getting a lot of cravings like for sweets and such at the end of the day, which is something I've experienced in the past. Your girl likes ice cream, so I used to be definitely craving that a lot more when I was having more like processed foods during the day. But if I'm having whole, good quality ingredients, I've noticed I'm not really craving those things at the end of the day. So yeah, just focusing on good, whole quality, good ingredients, and having more like mini meals throughout the day rather than like mindlessly snacking. And my fifth and final tip on how I've been able to maintain, achieve, and continue to want to grow in my fitness and health is my morning routine and my night routine. I love my routine so much. Like if I don't have my routine, I feel very off. I'm a little bit grumpy. I love my routine. So just kind of giving a brief overview of what that looks like for me. Morning routine is I get up, I do some skincare. If I'm not opening in the morning, I'll like make my coffee, I make my bed, I journal, all that stuff. If I do work in the morning, it's a little bit different. I don't really have time to make my coffee, so I'll like grab an energy drink before I head out the door, but I still always make time to do my skincare, to journal, make my bed. Those are like my things that I do, and I just kind of take my time. I like to do all those things. It sets up my day right. And then as far as my nighttime routine, it's usually shower, dinner, skincare, journal at night, and like get in bed at a decent time. I always like to light a candle and such, like when I'm in bed journaling. I just feel like that just gives me a whole like sense of like calming, and it's really nice just to like have that time to myself. The reason that for me routine is so important is because no matter what type of day you have, no matter anything, you know you're starting your day off right and you're ending it off right. Usually if you start it off right and end it right, I will say the in-between all just kind of falls into place. But I do feel like having those consistent routines, it sets up my mindset in a way that I'm much more like eager, determined, motivated to continue wanting to work towards my goals, wanting to achieve my goals. If you're not setting yourself up for that, it's going to be way harder to achieve that, to do that. So that's why I like to have my morning routine, my night routine, because it just gets me in that mindset of like grind time, like it's go time, like we're gonna make this happen, we're gonna achieve our goals, we're gonna do the things that we want to do. That has really, really helped me with my fitness like so much. I've started putting a lot more time and self-care into myself and what I want, and honestly, that's totally okay. I feel like a lot of times people look at that as, oh, like you're being you're like self-obsessed, or things like that. And even me, like I've definitely had like those like friend groups that have said, oh, like how, like why do you do that, like why are you trying to be like that, why are you trying to be this person? It's like, because I am that person. I want to put my health, my priorities first and foremost in my life, so I'm going to do the things that I need to do to be able to get there, and that's setting myself up for success. All right, you guys, so that just kind of wraps up what my fitness routine is, what I'm currently doing, how I got to where I am. So just to kind of recap a little bit, I do focus on getting in like a very hybrid training style, focusing on running, lifting, getting that recovery. I think that's super important, and in all honesty, Orangetheory is great for that. It's helping me to be able to get all of that in at one place, which I just absolutely love. And yeah, if you guys have any questions for me about anything, about what like my training style is, or just questions in general about health and fitness, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, or if you know me, come up to me, ask me. It's literally my passion, it's my job, it is what I'm here to do, and I want to help you guys live your healthiest life. I'm obviously always on this journey with you guys. Everything's constantly changing, you're learning new things every day, but I just want to help everyone out. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!